We're going to head outside now. We're going to start off with Chris.
I'll be in the back. Yeah.
You got a tape almost done, or is it just flashlight?
You know, it was just going to be an endless trail, and all of a sudden you're so close to finishing the planned journey, and you've got the additional trip tacked on. How do you feel now as opposed to last January? You're starting in really cold weather, and here you got a pretty cool day as well. But
tired, but like it's been a very fun trip. I've been right across Canada so far. We've hit a lot of schools, a lot of cities and towns, and we've got everybody aware about the remission donation. That's what we're there for.
That was the bottom line of my talk. What's up?
Yeah, are you trying to get by, bud?
Okay, well, don't. Okay. No dippy dancing in the back there. I talked to George on the phone yesterday, and he was saying that the bottom line was always the awareness, and as you know, George always thinks that more could be done, more should be done. He's talking about some legislative changes, and like you say, you carried that message from one end of the country to the other, and boy, the timing really couldn't be better, because new surveys are showing that Canadians still have a lot of work to do when it comes to the whole issue of organ donation.
Like now, we starting to sort of another campaign for precious consent. I'll talk to you about that, because people are automatically unheard doing this, and if you choose to take yourself off, you can. I think it'd be better that way too, so you don't have to go to a family member or find a member, you just automatically heard it. So I think it's better, and hopefully we're going to get it. Just a couple of weeks ago, they put it to the legislature, Bill 156, that went through, but we're not sure.
You know, even when you're out there on the roads and visiting schools and doing events, you're still waiting for that beeper. I guess that's one of the things that really can't lose sight of, is that you're doing this. There's a personal aspect to this, and it's not the sole reason, obviously, but it's always got to be in the background. So you're still waiting for your beeper.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the
What, as you say, we kind of plan to wrap this thing up by the end of this week. We have another little wrinkle came up, and you're going to get a little bit of an extra journey. So what's going on in that over there?
Well, Friday we're actually done. Sunday I'm going to
One final question, what lies ahead for you? Not all of us can even imagine trying to take a whole year out of our lives and maintain, you know, things like contacts with family and school and things like that. So what lies ahead for 2025 for you?
Sure. Well, I'm going to go back to school. Don't push me!
So far, I've been fortunate enough to stay alive. I've been in and out of hospitals most of my life. I've had over 20 operations.
Knowles, and I started this journey with Kristopher January 8th, and Kristopher's dad Kelly and his mom Sandra, and it's been a great experience. Kristopher, as you've seen by the video, personifies courage and strength, and he's just an amazing young man who inspires me to do this story and to try and get his message out to as many people as possible after his vlog is done through the documentary. Kristopher, as you know, as you've heard, is waiting for a liver transplant, has been waiting his whole life. And this is an issue that touches each of us. Some of us know people who are on dialysis need transplants, people who need livers, hearts. And we can all make a difference by being aware and making our families aware of our wishes to be organ donors and to just spread the word that this is an important issue. So with that, I'd like to introduce you to a true Canadian hero, Kristopher Knowles.
Chris, say hi. Thank you. Hi and thank you.
Before we ask Kristopher some questions, I'd like to thank a few people. I'd like to thank all of you again for coming out here. We'd like to thank Sears Portrait Studio, who has been a great sponsor and who are handing out organ donor cards right across Canada for this cause. So go on down there, talk to the folks at Sears, get your picture done for Christmas, give it to your mom and dad. And we'd like to thank the City of Guelph and the Guelph Police Services who I see are here. I'm not sure if you were supposed to escort us or no. Okay, Glenn, thanks. But if you'd like to ask Chris a few questions, please do so. He doesn't bite. So I know there's somebody out there who's going to raise their hand and who's going to ask that first question that's going to feed other students' minds. There we go, right up here. Yes.
What was the funnest place in Canada you went to?
The best part was actually just doing it and meeting people like you, and just doing it has been a big experience. Like, I've never thought of walking across Canada in my life until I met my road manager, George Marcello, who's not here right now, but he actually did a walk across Canada about 4 years ago, and he came through my town and I actually got to meet him. And sure enough, he inspired me, so I asked him if I could do a walk across Canada to do the same thing.
Yeah, actually, George Marcello did a 12,000-kilometer walk to promote organ and tissue awareness. And you may have seen him, he was in the picture with the Pope. And Chris usually walks with a torch, an Olympic-style torch called the Torch of Life. And it was blessed by the torch, by the Pope, and he proclaimed that organ and tissue donation is a genuine act of love and encouraged everyone to become organ donors. And George is sick today, so he couldn't be here, and our wishes go out to him, our best wishes. So if anyone else has a question, please, right here in front.
Do you know how many people in Canada are actually organ donors? Like, do you know how many people sign those cards?
I believe Canada has one of the lowest rates. It's about 13%. I'm not sure what the numbers of that are. We have approximately 4,000 people that are waiting for organ donors. If you put in people that are waiting for things like corneas, valves, skin grafts, the number goes up. Sears Portrait Studio, right across Canada. Or from the Trillion Gift of Life, the Ontario government here in Ontario. And yes, again,
Kristopher, you and I were just chit-chatting when we saw the slideshow on. Could you tell the students here at College Heights what was happening with you when you were at the hospital?
Okay, well, for the past...
You were at the hospital.
Okay, well, for the past 14 years, actually when I was born, I had gone through 20 operations just to save my life. Every 3 weeks I'd have to go in for surgery because my liver and actually my spleen isn't working, so my blood is going the other way, the opposite way. So it's causing these varicose veins that hang in my throat. And they'd have to go in with the tube and band them, and then in the next 3 weeks they'd fall off. And they do 6 every time, and I've had 48 done, and I'm the most banded kid in North America.
Where will you go next?
Tomorrow I'll be in Hamilton, Oakville, Hamilton, Oakville, Chatham, and then Toronto the next day, and then Toronto actually, well, on Friday will be our last stop officially, but just about 2 weeks ago I got asked to go to Nunavut, so I'm going there on Sunday, and it's not good. It's going to be cold.
Right up in the back.
What kind of organs are most popular?
Not really certain, but there's
Kidneys the most needed.
probably kidneys. I mean, there's a large need for kidneys and livers, I think. Probably, yeah. Right there in the green hat.
You have to do schoolwork.
Sort of. My school, they're teaching me as an exchange student, so they'll give me the 4 credits. But if I want to go take the exams, I can if I want, but I don't have to. And then I'll just have to go to the 2nd semester and finish school year.
In the red shirt.
How do you feel
Good.
Red sweater.
Did you like those girls in the picture?
Black hat.
Yeah. I started on actually January 8th, 2004, and I headed west to Vancouver, BC. Then I drove out to St. John's, Newfoundland, and walked back, and it's been probably 11 and a half months so far.
What's the date today?
How long are organs, like after they're taken from a person's body, how long are they able to stay out of the body? Like, do you know what I mean? Like how long are they fresh?
6 hours?
6 hours, really?
So it's a very small window of opportunity to get it from the donor to the recipient.
Sorry. For organ donors, like, say someone in Canada needed one, and they have a match to stay in the U.S. Is there any possible way that you know? Do you know what I mean?
No, that's not the norm. It generally wouldn't happen that way. No. Okay, yes.
My whole community, my school, actually my family, my dad and my mom support me, and he's the Gambrel. He's been supporting me for the past 11 months, videotaping me. We've got a lot of support.
Yeah, we've had a lot of support from the different communities we've been in. Everyone from people having us over to their house for a meal, restaurants, hotels. It's a large undertaking, and we're basically surviving on students' lunch money. People like yourself, kids that got together and did tuning drives and things like that. So, yeah, right there in the green.
I don't know, I just did it. I started on January 8th.
What day is it? 350, 348, 349. 349. 349. 349. Yeah.
Yeah, it's day 349 of Chris's walk, which is a 353-day walk. And yeah,
Like I said, I'm supposed to go in every 3 weeks, but since I've been on my walk, I haven't got sick once. So far I've been good.
Yeah, I'm sure I never regret with this, you in the red.
What's that thing on the side of the battery being the
It's for the CTV guy.
Show me your belly.
Do I have a girlfriend? Yeah, actually I do.
Oh, there you are.
Well, for my condition, I have to wait till somebody passes away and have the same size, the same blood type. And because I was on my walk, I've been out of Ontario, so I wasn't. They said that just don't look forward to getting one yet while you're on your walk. And probably because I'm in Ontario now, they think my dad and mom think that I'll get it before Christmas, but hopefully I don't.
And to go Yeah, and just to go along with that, Chris has had like over 20 operations just to save his life, so if you want to show them what over 20 operations looks like. So, that's not a small deal. How are we doing on time? Oh, wait.
What's your hometown?
Sarnia, Ontario.
Sarnia, Ontario. Yes. I believe the number's around a third of those on the waiting list. Yes.
I understand that even if you sign your organ card, your family, after you die, could change their minds.
Yes, very good question, very good. Yeah. We have a system which is called family consent. Basically, what it means is you can sign your organ donor card, but it's not a legally binding contract. So if your family says, no, we don't want to do this, and at the time of your death, which is usually tragic in the case of organ donors, the families are in shock and they're, grieving, and the last thing they want to do is say, yeah, sure, go ahead, take parts of my loved one. So what Kristopher and Step-by-Step Organ Transplant Association is hoping is that there will be some legislative changes which will bring in a system of precious consent, which mirrors the Spain system, which is presumed consent, which says everybody's an organ donor unless you choose to. Okay, and yeah, in Ontario, Peter Cormos introduced a private member's bill, Bill 56 was it called? 156, which would address this issue and hopefully change the law so that people like Kristopher will get their life-saving operations.
Opt out.
And yes? Yeah, there's a lot of factors that, is your wallet on you? Was it thrown out of the car? Do you have it on you? Did you leave it at home? So there are a lot of different issues that
Opt out.
Okay.
You're saying that parents or family members will change their mind.
Yes.
So not only should sign your organ donor card.
You should talk to your families. Yes,
And bring that up in your wishes or no.
that's right. Yes. But again, the Spain, which has probably got the highest rate, they took on this system, I believe it was 10 years ago, called presumed consent, which said everybody's an organ donor unless you opt out of the system. So what they do now is they have medical liaisons which speak with family members. They monitor people, have medical liaisons which speak with family members. They monitor people in critical care units, and they speak with families saying, look, this is what we need from your loved one. They don't just just take them. They say, this is what we need to save these many lives. So obviously, putting life first is a good thing. Okay, let me take some more from over here.
How do you guys pay for all that travel?
As I said, most of the trip was covered by students' lunch money. People, kids like yourself that came to school, somebody said, let's have a toonie drive for Chris, and they'd throw a handful of change in a bucket. There were hotels, there were restaurants, there were stores, there were individuals, there were some service clubs, and yeah, it was basically just support of Canadians. I am so convinced that Canada is the greatest country in the world, the most generous, most giving country in the world because of what we've experienced over this past year. It's just been phenomenal.
Christopher, this is a delicate question, so I apologize. When an individual is diagnosed with cancer, they're given a certain length of time, more or less. You've been on the waiting list for all your life, correct? Have the doctors given you any kind of life expectancy or any kind of timeline if you are not a successful candidate and do not get it?
One day at a time.
Yeah, it's basically one day at a time. One day at a time. Wait, one? Yes.
My favorite sport's hockey.
Okay, in black. Straight ahead, yeah.
No.
In the red.
Yeah, hopefully. For sure.
In the gray.
What happened if you were to drink alcohol?
I don't know.
Can't hear you, sorry.
You know where to donate when you're recording, how much will it cost you?
There's no charge for donors. Like, there are people that we have, you can be a live donor for certain organs, like kidneys. You can donate one of your kidneys. Can you donate a lung, I believe, even?
Yeah, half of liver.
There are various, I'm sorry? Lung, bone marrow, skin. Yeah, you can donate part of your liver, and both the recipient and the donor will grow a full liver. The reason Chris can't get a partial donation from his dad, who was going to do that years ago, was because biliary atresia attacks the ducts that the bile goes through, and so he needs to have a cadaver liver because he needs those ducts, and you can't take those off of someone else. They would. Straight ahead. Well, the most important factor is talking with your family members, letting them know what your wishes are, so that if, God forbid, there was a tragic accident, they would know that your wishes are that you would like to help save other people's lives. One person can directly save, I believe it's 8 people from the organs in their body, not to mention the different valves and corneas, things like that. In the pink? Actually, Guelph was where Chris kicked off his campaign in October of last year at GCVI. So. In the blue? Can't hear you, sorry. You're speaking too low. If someone were to donate a kidney,
How would the surgery be? How would
I don't believe it's as risky as it used to be. It's not like back when the first heart transplant was done in '67 or things like that. It's really, Canada has probably one of the best systems, medical systems and so on. So it's, the recovery time is, I believe it's around 6 weeks, 3 to 6 weeks. Yes? Well, if you talk with your family and your parents know your wishes, then hopefully they would carry out those wishes. The age limit, I would guess, would be 18 if there were an actual age limit again. Okay, in blue.
No, not really.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your questions. You guys have been great. Thank you so much. Helped organize this here at your school, and thank all of you.
Up by my office, bud.